welcome back. It is Sunday sit-down time. With us now is the Kansas City Stars Mizzou Athletics beat writer Souichi Terada, covering all things Tiger athletics. Souichi, how's your Super Bowl Sunday going?
It's good. I'm just kind of recovering from Mizzou's last couple games where it's coming down to the wire. My gamer have to tear up just because of the nature of the game, and I'm just kind of relaxing now.
Was your story already written yesterday when things kind of turned around?
Yeah, for the most part, when it's like a 20-point game like that, the luxury of that is you can take it a little easy. You can have pretty much like 80% of the story done. And so I did have about 80% of the story done. And then, the last few minutes happens. So you're just kind of going from there. And it takes a little bit longer after the final buzzer. But, you get used to it. I'm not exactly that far into my career, but it's happened more than a few times, to say the least.
Yeah, that's a story of sports journalism right there. Well, I want to start with this. Your coworker, Jesse Newell at the Kansas City Star, you think he'll have Mizzou ranked this week?
He has had Mizzou ranked, I believe it was a couple of weeks ago before the Auburn loss. He had them ranked. I forgot where, but he did have them ranked. Mizzou's, I believe, number 29 in KenPom, so I think he should have them ranked. He looks at KenPom, Bart Torvik, and a few other statistical sites, so it's not really Jesse's, opinion. It's just pretty much what the numbers say, and if the numbers look good for Mizzou, they'll appear on his ballot.
Well, if you were voting in the AP poll, where would you have the Tigers on Monday?
I'd have to look at the other teams' records. I know a lot of teams above them have lost. I would probably have Mizzou at least in the top 15 personally. I mean, I do it by resume.
Down the stretch, what do you think the Tigers need to kind of fix in order to really boost their NCAA tournament resume and make themselves into maybe even an SEC championship contender?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think Mizzou is really the only team that can kind of catch Alabama based off of their tiebreakers, so you still need to win as many games as possible. We've seen teams that get off to a 10-0 start and kind of lose a few on the backstretch just because, once that first loss comes like Mizzou had, I think, it just kind of comes maybe other teams kind of look at it as, hey, this team isn't, this undefeated juggernaut that we saw early in the season. So Mizzou still needs to get a little bit fortunate just because Alabama still needs to lose at least 2 more games to match Mizzou in the loss column, and at the same time, Mizzou needs to take care of business. But I just think you keep doing what you do, and that includes just letting whatever player is hot, whoever is hot that particular game, let them do their thing. Yesterday against Alabama, it was Drew Smith, Mark Smith, and Kobe Brown. Against TCU last week, it was Jeremiah Tillman and Xavier Pinson. So just let whoever's hot do their thing. I think, when you have that much depth and that much talent and that many options offensively, I think, at least one guy is bound to have, at least one guy is bound to have a good game, and we've seen that all season.
Recently, especially this weekend, there's been a lot more hype around maybe Cuonzo Martin, SEC Coach of the Year. What do you think when you hear that? We still got a couple weeks left, but do you think that's realistic for him?
I'll say this much. I think it's a little more realistic than Eli Drinkwitz' chance, and not a knock on Drinkwitz by any means. The coaches he go up against. I mean, Nick Saban did an incredible job at Bama this season, going undefeated and winning the national championship. That's a tough, that's really tough to do. But I think you look at what Cuonzo has done, his whole body of work. Maybe a little less impressive in SEC play. They are 6-3 now. If you can improve on that, then obviously you have a better chance. But the fact that Mizzou and Cuonzo was able to beat Nate Oates in Alabama, I think goes a long way. Mizzou was picked to finish 10th in the SEC. At this point, if they do, it'll be a huge disappointment. I don't even think they can with 6 wins. So it's just one of those things where you're just supremely impressed by Mizzou. I think if they keep just putting up on the win columns and taking care of business, that's absolutely part of the narrative. And it's a narrative award too. So I think you hear it now, and in a couple weeks, if Mizzou keeps up the success and the momentum, then it's going to be really easy for whoever votes for that to pick Cuonzo come the choice and the selections and all that.
I hear you have some news that you might want to share with the viewers about what's next with your career.
Yeah, let's just say this will be the last Sunday sit down. I'll have that publicly in the next few days, but that's still I still have to dot some T's or dot some I's, cross some T's, and all that kind of stuff. So we'll keep the viewers in suspense for at least a few more days.
Well, maybe at least you could share your favorite memory on the Mizzou beat since you've been in Columbia.
Oh man, favorite memory. It's been really hectic. I started off pretty much on a coaching search, then there was a pandemic. I think my favorite game I've been to though was bragging rights. The first one when Mizzou beat Illinois at Enterprise Center last season. So not like a few weeks ago, but during the 2019-20 season. That was really cool just because I got to, you're not in really too many situations where you're in a stadium where it's just pretty much split 50-50 like it is at Enterprise Center for Bergen, right? So the energy and Mizzou kind of came back from an early deficit and all those things. It was a really cool game to be a part of. So I think I'll take that and kind of cherish that memory a little bit. Bergen Rice this season was obviously a really good game, but just without the crowd, it didn't have quite as much excitement, I guess you could say.
Well, you have just as much excitement here on Sunday Sit Down, virtually or in person or whatever. It's been great to get to know you these last couple of years, and we wish you the best in your future ventures. Souichi Terada, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate that. I think this is my 4th time now, so it's been fun all 4 times.
4 for 4. 4 for 4. All right, we'll be right back after this.